Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the International. This is their part number 3010-GE, Adjustable Threshold Mount Bottom Pivot Set. This is what would be called a GE type. I don't know, I'm not familiar with the etymology of GE, what it stands for, where it came from, except that it's a particular type that's distinguishable, which we'll point on. It could be that this is a reference to a aluminum storefront manufacturer that when it was mounted in this fashion at the bottom pivot, and it was like this and this, it was the GE style. So that's, that's what I guess. So what makes this distinguishable, that it's a GE type, would be the following. It has in the end where you can affect the height of the door, in effect, by being able to run the bushing or bearing down on top of the spindle. By turning that clockwise, it's going to pull this plate that's in here in towards it, and that's going to force this to move down, which will force your door to move up. So that's one distinguishable feature about this. The other distinguishable feature is that it is threshold mounted. Okay, let's take a look at that threshold mount. And here's what that spindle is. So basically what happens with these, and you do see them, meaning, someone who's looking for them, a door person, might take notice of that bottom pivot. When you don't see any floor plate and just a threshold that runs through the entire opening, it's probably a GE mount. The hole will be drilled in the threshold. You'll have this. You'll have your star washer. And you're basically going to secure this bottom spindle to the threshold. Threshold gets attached down to the floor. What's nice about that is, it kind of makes the installation a little bit easier. Assuming you've got a nice and good secure installation on your threshold, that bottom spindle should sit right there, and then it's obvious what's going to happen there. Okay, so that's going to be your installation. Okay. The other parts will be 2 machine bolts and 2 star washers. Okay, that's for attaching the bottom pivot to the underside of the door, the inverted channel, I would imagine. You'll have 2 screws. I would suggest that you install it in one of these slotted holes. If it was me, I'd probably pick up another machine bolt. I don't know why, 2 is normal. I would include 3, but into the slotted hole, make your adjustments, tighten, mark this hole, mark this permanent hole, pull that out, pre-drill it, run your screw in, and then you're fixed. Okay, so this bolt will handle the height. This is how you're going to mechanically handle, where the door is sitting on the bottom in relationship to its margin on either side. And that's what's here. Let's switch to the screen view now, and let's take a closer look at some supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here's the item that we are looking at, just some line art from the manufacturer here, International. Let's look at some images that we actually have here of the material. There's the packaging. That's the contents. Yeah, that's everything. Your bottom pivot alone, a side view, the underside view, the height adjusting bolt. That is connected to a slide block that's inside of here. I don't know what I'd want to call it a slide block. A triangular shaped piece of cast aluminum that has a triangular groove on it that will force this to move, that will allow it to recede back into the housing or to project from the housing. Your bottom spindle and the nut separated. Then your fasteners. Okay, now, not a lot to say about this except it's used on the 200, 300, and 500 series overhead concealed closers. There's a link here below this video to the manufacturer's page. And from here, we can pull up the updated, we can pull up the most current product catalog. So let's fire up that document. We'll give that a minute to load. While that's loading, I'll point out to you that on this manufacturer's landing page, you can review all of the International products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation. as well as a link to the manufacturer's website here. Let's take a look at that catalog that's loaded. So 200, 300, and 500. So concealed closers, 200, 300, and 500. They're all in the very early part of the catalog. Let's take a look at that. We'll just scroll into it. It's right after the index. So your 200, and I don't have memorized, I don't recall the differences between the 2, 3, and 500 series. It's certainly going to be features like duty rating, spring power, things of that nature. The point being is that you can review those here, so they are not necessarily all grade 1. Let's take a look. That 500 series was listed as grade 1. I noted that. Certified ANSI grade 1 on the 500 series. The 300 series does not indicate that at all, so that would be a notable difference. The 200 series does not indicate that at all. So anyway, you'll have to study those pages or reach out to us if you're looking for an overhead concealed closer. We will certainly study those pages. The point is that when you look at the accessory pages, you're going to see this 3010 GE, and here it is, along with the other possible bottom pivot assemblies that may be what you need. If you have an international closer, it will be one of these three. Okay. Different style of bottom plates. These are also going to differ in terms of the height of the bottom rail, the inverted bottom rail, how deep that channel is. The DP is basically what we would call an end load arm, where this stud, or the spindle, so to speak, that is on the floor plate will snap into the end of the arm from the end of the door. So you can, when you look at these, you can start to distinguish what's the difference between all of them, just visually, is the bottom line. Get back to the 500 series, and the same accessories are there as well. So if you're looking for these bottom arms, be mindful. I had mentioned earlier about how they have letters, and they all relate to different types of arms. This arm, the S-type, is what we call a side load. This PT-type is certainly in a K-type, and the A-type, that's an end load. That's just how the arm connects over the spindle from either the face of the door or from the end of the door. So just an interesting trip down, the world of these overhead concealed closers. Okay, so a neat little resource that's there. On that manufacturer's page, we've pretty much covered it. We have some older versions of the catalog there as well. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. International is a simple, no-nonsense outfit. They have lots of items in stock, warehouse full, at least 2 that I know of. One on the West Coast, certainly, and one I think in Tennessee. Don't quote me. It's somewhere in the, eastern half of the country geographically, but in that band of, Chicago on down, sort of corridor. It's somewhere there. Is the bottom line. You can pick up the phone, call them. It's the same person that I talked to or email that replies back to me, checking stock, pricing, lead times, a little bit of, I've got this, what is it used for? This is the slide block I'm looking for, which arm does this go with, that sort of scenario. Always very helpful if you've got pictures. If you want us to identify something that you may not be able to identify, email that stuff to us. Our contact information is under Contact Us in the upper right-hand corner of the site, or at least it is now. At this time, it may be redesigned by the time you're seeing this video. And then look for the sales email that's there, or the telephone. That's surely going to be pasted somewhere. Any questions on the 3010 GE bottom pivot by International, or any other International door closers product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up. Please subscribe and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.